Hello, everyone. We are live once again, and it seems like it's been a while, but what to do, man? What to do? It's Manchester United. They can't keep us out for long, can they? And I don't know, man. ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये season खत्म करो यार, and that tells us a lot. When the season has only begun, it's like just write off, please, yaar, hataओ, because we apparently, I use the word apparently, are in a mess now. Of course, the media is selling it more, but I, as a Manchester United fan, मैं यहाँ अंतरिक्ष बन के क्या मतलब वही हूँ, वो बैठा हूँ और सोच रहा हूँ कि ये क्या हुआ. अभी तो सीजन स्टार्ट हुआ है, इतने से सीजन में जो इतू सा सीजन हो उसमें इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स कहाँ से आ सकती है? Is it hyper magnification of problems and focusing on the negatives, or is it genuinely problems and we as Manchester United fans should we genuinely start worrying about it? I mean, a lot of it depends on how you view these problems. A lot of it depends on how you see the next sort of, brief period for Ten Hag and the club hanging about. It also depends on how you see the whole takeover thing hanging about. तो उस सब को मिला जुला के जो आपका एक पर्सपेक्टिव बनता है, I think that will mostly decide whether you are on the side of hyper magnification of negatives, or are you on the side of that there are some genuine concerns, or as there always is, there could be a gray side, not the black or the white, but a gray side which says yes, there are some concerns, but is it actually a mess? Well, let us let the season flow a bit, and then we can decide more about it. So I think that is the sort of underlying, I would say, I would say this sort of briefing I would give you before the video, but about the fact that what we are trying to achieve and what we're trying to do. So about that, I mean, we have a lot to talk about here today, and I think I would start off with the injuries. Obviously, Manish Bhai is here. He says, "Bhai, ye kya ho raha hai? Why always us? Whoa, Balotelli wala. Why always me wala scene, bro? I mean, what the hell is going on with us? What the hell is going on? I mean, even the title you'd see it'll say that Manchester United is in a mess, and it does feel like one, to be honest. मतलब इतने से season में it just feels like season एकदम like we weren't ready for this season. एकदम से हमारे सर चढ़ गया है season, and we can't sort of comprehend what's happening and what's going on and stuff. Let me just check out a couple of things. Yeah. So I mean, it's just panicking left, right, and center. I had some pointers for the video which I came on. So there are injuries to discuss. Big injuries, long injuries to a couple of important players. You know, we have obviously the game in hand. We don't know what's going to happen there. Not the game in hand, as in the game to come. Then there are some घिसे पिटे admare rumors which are coming, some disgusting outgoings, some very unplanned, disgusting, shitty outgoings by us, some shitty piece of business, I don't know. And yeah, I mean, the takeover is obviously hanging over us like, I don't know, क्या ही बताऊं, मतलब शनि की तरह लटका हुआ है वो, ना अब शनि इधर हो रहा है, ना उधर हो रहा है, ना जा रहा है, ना आ रहा है. I don't know what the hell is happening there. One can only guess what's up there. So, about that, so yeah, as I said, we have a lot to cover in this video. We have a couple of not I would say couple, but like in terms of reports, we do have a couple of reports which do talk about players like Amrabat, and then the the Turkish goalkeeper that we're trying to apparently, as I said, जो एक टर्म है जो मैं पहली बार अपनी लाइफ में सुन रहा हूँ, which is a pre-medical, वो हो गया है. अब उसे एक और मेडिकल पास करना है. जब वो एक और करेगा, then he might be confirmed as a Manchester United player. There is not much in terms of Dean Henderson to Crystal Palace. Naya. Obviously, we know of a concrete interest that has already been built, that is already there from Crystal Palace for Dean Henderson. So that's already there. Apart from that, we have not heard much about whatever new is going on. So yeah, I mean, that is that. And as I was saying, if I start off with injuries, so we all know now that weeks जिसको consider किया जा रहा था, Luke Shaw is injured, so that'll be a big doubt for us then going into the next game. Could you just give me out a second? Yeah, apologies for that. So as I said, Prakash Bhai comes and says Shaw out with his annual injury again. Absolutely, and whenever he seems to sort of get this run going together of decent, I'd say 7/8 out of 10 kind of performances, or when we can start calling him the best left back at the one of the one of the जब वो उस category में आने लगता है, he just says, let me get off with my annual injury. And you're right, Prakash bhai. He's off now. We don't know when he's going to be back. It was termed as weeks, but जब muscular वो पता चला मुझे, I was like, he's at least gone for like 6 weeks. 1.5 महीना तो कहीं नहीं गया. He's just out of the team at least for 1.5 weeks, 1.5 months. I wish 1.5 weeks hota, but 1.5 months, and it seems to be sort of on the periphery of 2 months as such. And uske baad bhi we don't know when he'll be back, stuff and stuff. There were rumors about Hoylund ka injury being actually he actually being fine to play against NFO UFO. Seems like a different club, Nottingham Forest. But as Ten Hag came out, so post the presser, there were a couple of things to cover there as well. So post the presser, he's come out that no, he will not be available to play. So I mean, what can you say? Like, we have this fracture ka stress going on. Then we have Mason Mount. Now I was planning to do a video, but then I was like, let the presser come out. We need to have more clarity about his injury. And then I just had read the Athletics piece on Shaw's injury. So it's like Shaw's out as well. We need to have more on that, and then we can maybe come out with a video on that. So basically, it's Shaw who's out. It's Mason Mount who's also got an injury, and Shaw will be, as Ten Hag just said, Shaw ज़्यादा देर बाहर रहेगा Mount से. तो देख लो आप, मतलब शॉ लगभग 2 महीने है. माउंट के लिए टेन हाग ने ऐसे नहीं बोला कि नो वो तो काफी जल्दी आ जाएगा. सो माउंट विल बी आउट फॉर अ सिग्निफिकेंट पीरियड एज वेल, प्रोबेबली अगेन एटलीस्ट 1 से 1.5 महीना तो easily it'll take. So that is Mount being. Now there was a topic of discussion here: is it a blessing in disguise? Could it be a blessing in disguise, at least for the short term, that Mount, because many people are referring to this midfield crisis, which by the way Ten Hag absolutely dismisses. According to him, midfield has been sorted. According to him, the defensive transitions haven't been smooth, getting back to defense, and the defense hasn't been sorting out itself. And number two, the striking department, the attacking department hasn't sort of helped themselves by not being, hungry enough in front of goals. And like, we have massively, I think after Brighton, we are the second most XG creating team in the league. And we've just scored what? 1 goal, I guess. एक ही goal मारा ना हमने, 2-0 हारे. Yeah, 1 goal. So I mean, that tells us a lot about, Kushagru bhai, welcome. He says Martial to start tomorrow. We'll discuss upon that. Obviously also in our video, which is going to come out tomorrow morning, which will be the preview for I would actually call it the big game against Nottingham Forest, because there's a lot of pressure. We just don't need those shitty 3 points now. We also need a freaking commanding performance, I'd say. And if not commanding, just give us some hope कि तुम 2-4 pass इकट्ठे कर सकते हो. You can bring out Onana and then also play out from the back at least 3-4 passes in a row, and not wonder and keep on shifting ball from left to center. So it is actually, I didn't expect games to be important at the start of the season, like important as terms, but it apparently feels so. We're going to talk about it, some today and some in the preview tomorrow morning, afternoon as well. But apart from that, as I was saying, so some people are saying it could be a blessing in disguise, and it could be a blessing in disguise, but not according to Ten Hag, because he has absolutely dismissed. He was baffled. I was baffled that he was baffled about the fact that people are saying midfield is not performing. According to him, midfield has been absolutely superb. मुझे नहीं पता कैसे. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat कि किस तरीके से उसको लग रहा है, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा. Maybe he's trying to cover it. Maybe he just has some fundamental issues then, जो उसको लग रहा है midfield को help नहीं कर पा रहे, or he's trying to hide something, or he's seeing something in a Ten Hag vision which we as gadhe log can't see. Because you know what, that telling that United's midfield is doing absolutely fine and has been perfect really takes a manager's eye to say at this point, because we have perfect का तो मतलब बोलने में भी शर्म आ रही है मुझे perfect का in regards to the midfield and how we've been performing, at least in these 2 games. So yeah, coming to the blessing in disguise wala part, I think some people were calling it a blessing in disguise. That was not partially, mostly due to the fact that now that Mount would be out. Christian Eriksen, who people have favored in terms of striking the right balance within the XI. Somehow they get the sense, the whole sort of mood around the club is कि जब Eriksen start करता है, we have that, I would say, in possession defensive cover. Like, it's almost like from what we have seen and from what the public perception, the popular public perception is कि भाई माउंट खेलेगा, ब्रूनो खेलेगा, वो दोनों एक ही थाली के चट्टे बट्टे हैं, वो दोनों सेम काम कर रहे हैं, वो दोनों reckless है pressing में, वो दोनों defensively, physically, so there is like this one thing, getting back defensively, physically. So like you can just get back and act as a body, which sometimes is very necessary to do in transitions. But then there is something like getting back physically. So like अगर आपने ball lose करी या अगर आपकी opposing team के पास ball है, so you get in there, you act as a shield or you act as a body cover or you act as sort of like तुम physically push कर रहे हो rather than just finding space and trying to cover it defensively. You are there with the ball carrier and thereabout and trying to be physically sort of I call it touchy and not letting him get space or time or composure on the ball. That is what they have been lacking, and that is what actually a lot of fans and even Ten Hag sort of hinted out that our midfield wasn't good at. Of course, उसने midfield wasn't good क्योंकि उसके हिसाब से तो good ही था, but it was just कि defensive transition में हम थोड़ा सा physically lack कर रहे थे, and Bruno was really pointed out because of that, because the thing has been कि dribbled past. अभी एक stat आया था, I don't think I saved it, गधा हूँ मैं, but it was like जो आर्सेनल सिटी और चेल्सी नहीं यार, चेल्सी तो बेवकूफ है, आर्सेनल सिटी और एक और क्लब था, लिवरपूल भी नहीं था, आई डोंट रिमेंबर, मे बी इट वाज ब्राइटन और समवन, उनके तीनों के मिला के जब उनके सीडीएम्स जितने भी बार ड्रिबल पास हुए हैं उतनी बार अकेला कैसेमीरो हो गया, एंड ऐड 4-5 टू कैसेमीरो, उतनी बार माउंट और ब्रूनो इंडिविजुअली हो चुके हैं. सो आई मीन दैट इज अ बिग वार्निंग साइन, इफ नथिंग. That is a big warning sign, and I have seen like eye test मेरे हिसाब से still is the best form to judge a player and or judge a team or anything. And I think I have been great witness to the fact कि जब भी Bruno or Mount do tend to get back when they are even behind the ball, they are not those tactically sound defenders या कुछ या those box to box kind of midfielders. They just jump into tackles. They come in and then they jump into tackles. वो बार jump in and they get double pass way too easily. If they again वो physically खुद को पीछे रखते हैं or they're just behind the ball or keeping in shape and stuff, then it helps out a team much more than what is currently happening. So as I said, driving the larger point, which is actually Christian Eriksen. Now he would provide a defensive cover in possession, because he has that knack of receiving the ball and then spreading it much better than maybe a Mount or maybe a Bruno, because their first instinct is like just a Bruno. Like my raw reaction after the game was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, what does he really want? Like, he was taking the ball off defenders and then trying to hit a Hollywood pass over 60-50 yards and trying to get in the assist within one pass. Now that is something that Eriksen doesn't really do. Even his great long balls or Hollywood passes are to people in space and not really going for those mega assists or Hollywood assists or Hollywood passes and stuff. He generally likes to keep it simple. And even when he does switch out long or he does hit that audacious pass here and there, it is generally to create space or to fetch into the space which has been created rather than forcing out an assist out of it. So that could be a pivotal moment. We might also, just refer to maybe we could see a McTominay here and there. So like I mean, it does change up the whole midfield narrative as such. But I think the way Ten Hag wants to play, I think Eriksen would be obviously perfectly suited to that way, because he just wants that 2-8s, and we have seen like you have to get the. As I said, ये कोई बहाना नहीं हो सकता है. This can never be an excuse for Ten Hag कि ये दोनों तो aggressive है इसलिए मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है, defensive cover नहीं है. Because तू लेके आया Mount को and Bruno is Bruno, you have to make them work. When De Bruyne, Foden, Gundogan, when Rodri is not playing, Gundogan, you have Silva, you have De Bruyne, you have Foden, and I am sure I might be missing a player or two. जब ये लोग एक साथ खेलते along with the wingers and Haaland, और जब Haaland नहीं था false nine, जब ये एक साथ खेलते हैं, it's not De Bruyne. De Bruyne fucking tracks back like a cheetah when he has to. De Bruyne fucking gets back physically like a rhino when he has to. So there is, Foden जो एक मतलब आपको fruity की straw जैसा दिखेगा, अगर वो भगते हुए जा रहा है and he's being a physical menace to the oppositions and getting back physically, then it's not about really the player profile or the player stature or player's physicality. It's really about the defensive willingness and your eagerness to learn that defensive work ethic. एक हो गया तेरा तुमने गांव में दौड़ लगा ली, वो जो आजकल चल रहा है राम राम भाई सारिया ने, और तुमने दौड़ लगा दी, ठीक है, that's fair enough. I'd call something of a Dan James वाला, who used to just get back at any वो दौड़ लगाना एक हो गया. दूसरा हो गया having that defensive prowess to actually get it into space and then be there physically for your team and not just think कि अच्छा अभी मेरे को ग्लूकॉन डी पी लिया एनर्जी आ गई अभी मैं भाग लेता हूं. And I see a lot of it with Rashford. Like when he tracks back कभी कभी ये टैकल मार देता है and Old Trafford goes. But many a times, and that's with Sancho, that's with Martial as well. These guys don't track back. These guys don't track back as a routine. They track back as a hobby. तुम समझ रहे हो डिफरेंस? They track back as a hobby. कि आज किताब पढ़ने वाला चलो यार किताब पढ़ते हैं एक्स्ट्रा वाली. They aren't like कि अच्छा यार किताब तो पढ़नी है तभी पास होंगे. They're not like that. They track back as a goddamn hobby, not as a routine. So that's the thing. It's not much to do with the profile of players. It's rather to do with कि अच्छा Ten Hag है ना. Ten Hag is a masterpiece. Ten Hag is a tactical mastermind genius. ये वाला scene. So I think उसकी वजह से like he has to show it on the pitch as well कि अगर ये एक player का definite role है, उसका उल्टा भी वो player कर सकता है. Mojo sir, welcome, and he comments here that we need to pack the midfield. Given what we have, 3-5-2 लगा दो. Sounds absolutely silly, but right now that midfield is Mr. India. Right. You know what, Mojo sir, I was discussing it in a group as well. I mean, someone just randomly mentioned 3-5-2 as a joke, as a silly joke, and he might also have been, it sounds absolutely silly. But when I thought about it, obviously we've never seen Ten Hag with that proper back three as of yet. But I don't know. It sort of made sense. But that is the thing. Jab Guardiola 3-5-2 खेलता है someone, he puts Grealish and Bernardo Silva as his wing backs because they are fucking better in tracking back than some of the best defenders in Europe right now. They just track back. They have that defensive knack, spatial awareness की किस तरफ क्या. हमारी दिक्कत ये है यार कि हमारे पास अभी wing backs नहीं है. मतलब उतने भर के नहीं है. Obviously the easiest solution would be Alvaro Fernandez आएगा academy से, वो बैठेगा bench पे, LB डालोगा right back, अपना Van Bissaka होगा. That's the fair solution. Apart from that, if you really want to do that, so we don't have many wing backs as such because अगर wing backs ही खिलाने हैं फिर तो तुम Van Bissaka डालो खिला लो. Van Bissaka वैसे ही right wing back घंटा नहीं खेलेगा ढंग से. He'd better be suited to right back. So apart from that, as I was saying, अगर तुम्हें वो ही करना है, so then you need to put your wingers on wing back positions. Now then हमारे में उतनी वो होता ना कि like if we were confident enough कि like teacher वहां से सवाल पूछ ले और सबसे पहले हाथ खड़े कर ले, हाँ मेरे को आंसर. When we are not confident, I don't think we'd be able to go for that. That's the thing. Otherwise, in principle, on paper, it actually seems pretty good. But again, 3-5-2 Nottingham Forest against ये भी दूसरा एक question है. But now, coming to sort of a bit about the game. So like, as I said, I didn't expect this, and especially when the fixture list came out and there was Nottingham Forest and they were like our third fixture in the Premier League. We did not expect it to be an important game in these terms, जितना भी लग रहा है. But sad life as a Manchester United fan, an unexpected life as a Manchester United fan, that ये हमें झेलना पड़ेगा. Whatever comes up, we never know with Manchester United. And I mean, journalists have eaten us alive, to be honest. पिछले एक हफ्ते में, like, we have been left, right, and center. As I said. By the way, all right. I'll actually say, let us keep this aside because मुझे एक चीज याद आई. Do you remember, to all the people watching, do you remember me saying कि ये Glazers की एक बकचोदी हो सकती है? This we are willing to sell the club, athletic David Ornstein वाला, Neil Custis Sun में report आया है. One day before that, and I know I've said it 20,000 times on different streams. One day before that, I said कि ये हमें ग्रीनवुड वाली मेस से निकालने के लिए अगले एक या दो दिन में कोई बड़ी न्यूज देने वाले हैं. Fair enough, that happened. And I was fucking skeptical कि ये सब एमए की खिचड़ी फैलाई जा रही है ताकि हम उस खिचड़ी को देखते रहे और ये नीचे से अपनी ग्रीनवुड न्यूज slip out कर दे. Because this was a mess they were trying to avoid. And as I said, they made themselves the sacrificial lamb. Because सालों को एक अच्छा sacrificial lamb, what would have been a good sacrificial lamb in this case? आमराबाद खरीद लेते, पवाड़ हाईजैक कर लेते, टोडीबो ले लेते, टेप्सोबा खरीद लेते, या तुम्हें कोई लेफ्ट बैक ही, अगर अब तुम्हें लेफ्ट बैक ही जाके खरीदना है तो वो कोई डंका खरीद लेते. बट नहीं, दे इस हद तक गिर गए कि दे themselves, खुद को उनने sacrificial lamb बना दिया. And guess what? As we here at NCR said, me in particular, नहीं आया, कोई कुछ नहीं आया. It was Neil Custis की रिपोर्ट. David Ornstein का first sentence यही था कि I won't be too bothered about it. But क्योंकि even Athletic has to sell newspapers and they know very well कि Ornstein की क्या वैल्यू है मार्केट में, उसका उन्होंने एक कोट आउट ऑफ प्लेस उठा के वहां डाल दिया, सो दैट इट अट्रैक्ट्स आईबॉल्स। और अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स पे तो चलता ही है, ब्रैकेट में डेविड ऑनस्टीन कॉमा @एथलेटिक, पड़ा 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 पोच दो बाय यूनाइटेड फैंस, यस यस यस, बिग गए बिग गए। मैं एक बोली नहीं एक्सेप्ट कर रहे साले गंजे और गंजेड़ी, सारे के सारे ये भाई, इनकी आपस में नहीं बन रही, इनकी आपस में नहीं हो पा रही कि भाई 6 बिलियन ले 6.5, कुछ 3-4 भाई तो कह रहे कि छोड़ना भाई 5 साल और रहने दे, कुछ पैसा मत डाले, 10 बिलियन भी हो जाएगा, because that is what the kind of business Manchester United is. Like imagine the fact कि हम लोग इतना पैसा बना रहे हैं, हम मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल क्लब्स की लिस्ट में कभी तीसरे चौथे से नीचे नहीं जाते, डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट कि वी हैव बीन ओन्ड लाइक द शिटिएस्ट क्लब एवर। सो इमेजिन अगर कोई ढंग का एकदम बढ़िया तरीके से आ जाएगा, देन व्हाट विल बी द केस। सो as we hear, मतलब as we heard nothing about that, I can positively confirm एकदम जी जान लगा के आई कैन कंफर्म कि it was nothing but a hoax, nothing I meant HOAX, मुझसे प्रोनाउंसिएशन गलत निकल गई by the way, but now it was nothing but बस आग लगाई जा रही थी न्यूज़पेपर में, and we just wanted to get rid। ग्रीनवुड कहां गया पिछले 2 दिन से, कहां गया? See, that's the nature of news. Once one news is replaced, it's not कि जो replacement आई है न्यूज, जब वो हट जाती है तो जो ऑलरेडी न्यूज चल रही थी वो वापस आएगी। दिस डजंट हैपन। उसकी वो जो टाइमलीनेस होती है न्यूज की, एज अ जर्नलिज्म एंड मास कम्युनिकेशंस में पढ़ाया जाता है कि जो प्रॉक्सिमिटी और टाइमलीनेस होती है न्यूज की, वो बहुत शॉर्ट लिव्ड होती है। और अगर कोई गहरा इश्यू होता है, अगर आप उस गहरे इश्यू से उसकी टाइमलीनेस छीन लो, तो जितना गहरा वो इश्यू होता है ना, जब उसकी टाइमलीनेस ही उससे छिन जाती है, इट्स लाइक यू आर टेकिंग एक डायमंड आउट ऑफ द क्राउन, वो क्राउन सोललेस बन जाता है। That's the thing. We can discuss about Greenwood. It may resurface, but जो आग उस वक्त लगी थी ना, जब पेट्रोल एकदम छिड़का गया था, वो आग अब नहीं लगेगी पूरे मीडिया में, पूरे इसमें वो नहीं लगेगी। वो अब तब रीइग्नाइट होगी, which I'm not sure they might allow, they might not allow। वो तब होगी जब ग्रीनवुड अपना नेक्स्ट क्लब लेगा, और वो भी उस लेवल की नहीं होगी जिस लेवल की अभी 2-4 दिन पहले थी। Fucking Glazers won again, yet if I, इससे मुझे याद आता है NFO। Let me check something. Wait, let me check something. Let me check something because I don't want to get it wrong about the supporters club ka wo right all right, उसको एक बारी के लिए साइड हटा देते हैं। wait, let's wait for it। so yeah, basically उसको हटा के Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest, इससे मुझे याद आया, we are going to face Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford। what's going to happen? There is apparently a protest। well, guess what, अगर hypothetically, even if there is not a single person who buys हमारी टिकट फॉर द गेम, सपोज जो एनएफओ के लिए टिकट्स अभी एक भी नहीं बिकी और एक भी इंसान नहीं खरीदेगा, the stadium would still be 70, 80, 85, 90% filled। there won't you won't see empty hard or empty Trafford wale memes, even if no one buy, because that is the nature of season ticket holders। we have itni zyada pending list, itni zyada pending line waiting list even in our season ticket कि हम अगर कुछ टिकट भी ना बेचे अभी ढंग से, it'll still do the job for them। and that is me talking in the perfect and a most hypothetical world, in the most perfect and the most hypothetical world। so we know we don't live in that world, so obviously टिकटें बिकेंगी, कुछ नहीं होने वाला। it's not a message from me कि तुम प्रोटेस्ट मत करो, you don't voice your, see, that is just because it might not make a difference in the short term doesn't mean you shouldn't voice your opinions। that is absolutely not what I mean। but I am talking from these leeches, these fuckers के business point of view से, they don't give a bloody damn। they have seen it all। the only way it affects them is when they start bleeding money। वो कैसे होगा? वो एक इतने ज्यादा joint collaborative effort से होगा जो हम इंसानों के बस की नहीं है। because if one thing humankind has taught us, that the rarest of the rare events जब occur होते हैं, तब एक कुछ तरीके की एक यूनिसन आती है humans में। and I think in the footballing world that was the Super League। that was the only time when we could get an unison। we had actual protests। now I don't want violence and stuff और ये वो, but उस समय पे पिच पे आ गए थे लोग। they can do that in the NFO game as well, but that won't happen because this is a cause which has been running for almost 2 decades now। It has been running for almost 2 decades now. We have gotten Onana, we have gotten Mount, we have gotten Højlund, and we have a manager who is building in a positive way. We have had a great, I would say, a great overachieving last season. Yes, we have had a shaky start, but it's just a start. So इस सबको मद्देनजर रखते हुए, nothing would force. It's not like I don't want it, and I know the players का safety and ये सब is obviously at risk and stake. But what I'm saying is कि वो cause कभी इतना united होगा ही नहीं united में difference, and the only way it makes उनके कानों में एक भी जूं तब रहेंगी जब वो पैसे लूज करने लग जाएंगे, because the club is already up for sale according to the reports and according to what they've told us, right? It's already up for sale, and then for a business to sort of get dry out money, leak money, is obviously not good for its public image, for it being a stock market ka ek listed company, and obviously from a business standpoint ki obviously jisko tum bechna cha rahe ho उसमें पैसे लीक हो रहे, so it'll only affect them. तब तक अपनी होप्स यार मत हाई करो. Like I see these comments, क्या हो रहा है, कब होगा, क्या. Guys, you keep asking me, you keep asking us here at NCR. We're more than willing to have a chat, more than willing to answer these questions. It's a sincere request from a fellow fan, from a dumbed down humble fan. भाई मत करो expect. इन लोगों से expectation रखनी छोड़ दो. Even the most optimistic news sources say अगर कुछ होना भी है, it'll at least take 1.5 months. At least. That is what we're talking. It's at least that we're talking. So yeah, man, I mean, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. Overnight to chodo, over a week, over a month, it has to at least take 50-ish days. अगर आज कल अगले हफ्ते में भी डील अग्री होती है, it'll only be 30, 35, 40 days जब हम ढंग से सुनने लगेंगे. ट्रस्ट मी, अगर आज के डेटा, अगर आज 25 अगस्त है, अगर हमने 15 सितंबर से पहले ये न्यूज सुन ली कि यूनाइटेड बिक रहा है, दैट मींस आज के दिन, नॉट टुडे स्पेसिफिकली, बट आज के दिनों में वो डील ऑलरेडी अग्री हो गई होगी. दैट इज हाउ लेट हम लोग चल रहे हैं इस पूरी प्रोसीडिंग में, बिकॉज इट्स अ बिग एस क्लब. इट्स 6 fucking billion. It's 6 fucking billion that we're talking about. मतलब 6 बिलियन अगर मैं अपने दिमाग में इनको रुपये में कंसिडर भी करना चाहूं, फटके हाथ में आ जाएगी. So that's why I won't go down that road. So like 6 billion we are talking about. तो मतलब उसको तो तुम छोड़ ही दो. So that's why अगर 15-20 सितंबर अगर ऐसी न्यूज भी आती है, oh the sale is apparently done, close to being done, या एक्चुअल वाली न्यूज, ये हवाबाजी नहीं, एक्चुअल, इट मींस तुम लगा लो कि अभी तक हमारा क्लब सेल हो गया होगा, बिक गया होगा आज 25 अगस्त तक, अगर हमें 10, 15, 20 सितंबर तक आती है न्यूज. बट ऑब्वियसली दैट डजंट लुक लाइक द केस, एंड इवन इफ इट डज, एज आई सेड, एटलीस्ट 1 महीना तो कहीं नहीं गया. तो मेरे भाइयों बहनों मित्रों, भाई, डोंट गेट योर होप्स अप जस्ट राइट नाउ. बट या, फिनिशिंग दिस, प्रकाश भाई कम्स अप एंड सेज, भाई ये सब तो ठीक है, होइलुंड कब आएगा? Prakash bhai, gonna cover more on this in tomorrow's preview as well, but from the quotes of our manager, he could be back. He hasn't obviously underlined it, but he was properly for the first time back with the full team. वो आया, so that's a positive. And next week, so say एक full week दिया जाएगा, which is said by Ten Hag. So we believe he could be at least on the bench for the Arsenal game. He could make the bench. It'll be a good possibility that he at least makes the bench against Arsenal. So that's a mini positive, I would say, if I'm not wrong. That would be a mini positive. So malab, you can't take much from it, but you can still sort of see कि अच्छा चलो ठीक है, at least ये थोड़ा वापस आएगा, इसका थोड़ा रहता है. Let me we face Brighton after them, if I'm not wrong. No, we face Arsenal obviously, then we face Brighton. Yeah, we face Brighton, and yeah, we face Brighton. So I mean, I think we need to travel to Arsenal, and I'm not sure if we have to travel to Brighton or do Brighton players at home, but I think he might make his debut. I hope अगर वो अपना debut बनाएगा Arsenal against, it's not in a chasing the game cause. I hope it's in a much relaxed sense. 85th 86th minute में हम दो गोल से जीत रहे हैं, उसको बस एक वार्म अप टाइप अपना debut मिल गया, and he also scores a tap in, I would say that. But now as I was saying, ये game के बारे में अगर हम वापस jump करें थोड़ा सा, which I had to touch upon the game. So yeah, as I said, I didn't expect this to be a big game so early, But you know what? You know what? Now there are two sides to this game as well. Because see, one fucking side is that it could be the best time to face Nottingham Forest because they're a team. Come on, you really, really expect them to beat them in your sleep. Like you really expect to beat them in your sleep. You don't say that with Premier League opposition, but just the nature of them. You just expect them to beat in your sleep basically. So that is one point. The other point is it could be the fucking worst time ever to face Nottingham Forest because Nottingham Forest तो खुली है ओल्ड ट्रैफर्ड पे उनकी तो कोई एक्सपेक्टेशंस ही नहीं है ऑफ कोर्स वो आएगा ऐसी आंखें लेके उनका मैनेजर और बोलेगा कि वी गो इनटू अ गेम पॉजिटिव और पॉजिटिव के नाम पे वो अपने बॉक्स में ऐसे 11 के 11 प्लेयर्स बॉल के पीछे खड़ा कर देगा सो दैट्स नॉट अ थिंग बट रियलिस्टिकली उन पे तो कोई प्रेशर ही नहीं है नील बटा सन्नाटा 0-0 नाडा नाडा जीरो निप नाडा प्रेशर है उनके उनको तो एक पॉइंट भी मिल गया तो उनके लिए सोने पे सुहागा है सो ऑल ऑफ द प्रेशर इज ऑन अस दैट वी एंड द एडेड प्रेशर बाय स्टूपिड पीपल लाइक मी कि ना सिर्फ 3 पॉइंट नहीं चाहिए हम जैसे फैंस को इन्हें तो अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस भी चाहिए इनके बाप का क्लब है ना अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस भी चाहिए धासु तोड़ू परफॉर्मेंस भी चाहिए 80% पोजेशन भी चाहिए 15 शॉट्स भी चाहिए 4 गोल भी चाहिए 15 में से 11 ऑन टारगेट भी चाहिए पासेस कंप्लीटेड इनटू द फाइनल थर्ड सब एकदम टॉप परफेक्ट एकदम चाहिए उनके शॉट्स भी 1-2 होने चाहिए 0 ऑन टारगेट होने चाहिए डोमिनेंट परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए तो देख लो कितना प्रेशर है यूनाइटेड पे सो ये टू साइड्स ऑफ द कॉइन है एक कहता है कि एकदम बढ़िया समय है एकदम पेल दो इन्हें कुछ ना कुछ करके 2-3 गोल मार के पेल दो और थोड़ा एक पॉजिटिव चक्रव्यूह स्टार्ट होगा कि अच्छा चलो सांस आई but then the other side says कि if you fucking fuck up even a centimeter here and there you are prone to criticism even if you win imagine we win 2-0 but we have had a half-assed performance somewhere in the lines of that Wolves game I though would come after the game I though would still scream my lungs out कि भाई क्या चल रहा है I would laugh and be happy from inside but I would still put my point कि भाई क्या चल रहा है क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग कोई जीना है हाँ रेलेगेशन खेलनी है या तुम्हें लग रहा है कि अभी यूरोपा कॉन्फ्रेंस के बाद एक और लीग आएगा यूरोपा का यूएफए का जो तुम्हें 8वीं से 10वीं टीम्स या चेल्सी टाइप टीम्स को भी यूरोपियन कॉम्पिटिशंस देगा of course that's not going to happen so I think that is the frame of mind we go into the game with that we have that added pressure but it could also turn out to be the best time to face a dumped down team like Nottingham Forest, NFO as they call it. So yeah, what will happen after so many injuries? Says Kamil Bhai. Welcome first of all, Kamil Bhai. What will happen? I think life goes on and 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 on. I think ye hoga bhai. I think nothing would change. Injuries happen. Kobe Mino, we expected him to be our own Chotu Bhai of Frankie de Jong. वो निकल लिया. Then there is Luke Shaw, as someone mentioned it, I can't remember. उसकी annual injury होनी थी. So what can you expect? Mount भाई साहब, कुछ लोग blessing in disguise बोल रहे हैं, कुछ लोग disgusting disguise बोल रहे हैं. तो वो हो गया. Mount भाई हो गए, ये हो गए. उसके बाद अपने टायरल मलासिया भाई, वो तो गायब ही हैं. वो तो मतलब गायब ही है. मुझे तो लग रहा था कहीं बिक ना जाए. क्योंकि ऐसे फ्रेड का भी बोला था उसके फैमिली इश्यूज है इसलिए नहीं आया टूर पे. झूठ सरासर झूठ मुंह पे झूठ बोला जाता है हमें. पहले डिसाइड हो जाता है ये सब हमको झूठ बोल रहे हैं बिक गई है गवर्नमेंट वैसा वाला सीन है सो आई थॉट ये वाला सीन तो नहीं है इसका बट ऑब्वियसली ही केम जस्ट लास्ट ईयर सो दैट वाज नॉट गोना हैपन सो वो भाई भी इंजर्ड है अपने सो आई मीन यस देयर आर अ लॉट ऑफ इंजरीज बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ द फुल बैक रोल्स कामिल भाई आई थिंक यू आर जस्ट न्यू टू द स्ट्रीम सो आई जस्ट सेड मेरे हिसाब से जो सबसे ज्यादा गो टू सोल्यूशन होगा हमारा वो ये होगा अल्वारो फर्नांडिस ही इज अ ब्राइट स्पार्क टू बी ऑनेस्ट ही इज अ फकिंग ब्राइट स्पार्क for academy right now Mark Jurado and Alvaro Fernandez I think ये दोनों स्पेनिश लोग एक बारसा से एक शायद हमने एथलेटिको से खरीदा था I think maybe एथलेटिको या रियाल से खरीदा I can't remember properly and Alejandro Garnacho I think हमने एथलेटिको से खरीदा था I'm not sure about it but do confirm that Jurado I think हमने Mark Jurado I think हमने बारसा से खरीदा so anyways ये जो दोनों स्पेनिश भाई है अपने if I'm not wrong don't kill me अगर ये कोई और साउथ अमेरिकन नेशन के हुए प्लीज मैं कोई रेसिस्ट बायस कुछ नहीं कर रहा मैं I just genuinely think ये दोनों स्पेनिश ही हैं या कोई यूरुग्वेन भी हो सकता है अल्वारो यूरुग्वेन तो नहीं I don't know but anyways अल्वारो फर्नांडिस जो लेफ्ट बैक है he is an inverted left back मतलब वो वैसे उसके दोनों ही स्ट्रॉन्ग फुट है बट जितना मैंने एटलीस्ट देखा है he can use his right foot so that's that he might come on the bench Alvaro Fernandez and then जो आपका लेफ्ट बैक होगा Dalot would switch from RB to LB and अपने मैन बिसाका स्पाइडर मैन स्पाइडर वैन, वो अपने राइट बैक पे आ जाएंगे. सो आई थिंक दैट विल बी सॉर्टेड. वी आल्सो हैव अ सेमी बैकअप अगेन एट राइट बैक अगर हमें फिर खिलाना हो, इफ Martinez and Harry. Touch wood, God forbid. Martinez and Rafael Varane are starting at left back. Lindelof is on the bench. So हमारे पास एक semi backup भी है right back का. Don't forget he has played many games for Benfica. Obviously Benfica छोड़े हुए अरसा हो गया उसे, but he did play a lot there as a decent CDM as well, but ज़्यादा as right back as well. So हमारे पास एक semi cover for right back भी आ जाता है. Because ये जो टेड एंड मैंगी, ईथन लेड, इनमें से आधे तो हमने बेच दिए. Do you remember by the way, can we sign a left back? अरे भाई क्या तुम न्यूज पढ़ के आ रहे हो? कामिल भाई क्या आप न्यूज पढ़ के आ रहे हो और हमारे जले पे नमक छिड़क रहे हो? बिकॉज एक डिस्गस्टिंग न्यूज पढ़ ली मैंने जिसपे मैं आने वाला था. वी माइट साइन फकिंग रायन बर्ट्रैंड who's on a free. प्रधानमंत्री पेंशन योजना फिर शुरू कर दी हमने. आई थिंक वी वर मिसिंग मैटा एंड ग्रांट सो मच. मतलब प्रधानमंत्री ऋषि सुनक पेंशन योजना, RSPY, ऋषि सुनक पेंशन योजना, मतलब प्रधानमंत्री पेंशन. हमें इतना शौक है वो पेंशन योजना खोलने का कि अब हमने उसमें जॉनी एवंस साहब का नाम लिख दिया एंड अब हम उसमें रायन बर्ट्रैंड साहब का नाम लिखने वाले. बिकॉज आई डोंट नो व्हाट द फक दीस गाइस आर स्मोकिंग. सी मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली इतना कोई ऐसे कोई फब्रिजियो ने आके नहीं बोला कि हम उसे साइन करने वाले हैं. सो आई डोंट गिव इट, बट द फैक्ट दैट वी वर बीइंग मेंशन्ड विद, हम आइवन टोनी और रायन बर्ट्रैंड से लिंक हो रहे हैं अभी. भाई टोनी अभी निकल के आया है. इट्स लाइक अगेन ग्रीनवुड का सबसे छोटा भाई उठा के हम वापस ला रहे हैं. ऑब्वियसली उनका वो सेम है, वो अलग अलग है. बट कामिल भाई स्नीकी कामिल इसके कह रहा है यस भाई जले पे नमक छिड़क रहे हो. रायन बर्ट्रैंड ऑन अ फ्री, फॉर फक्स सेक मैन, फॉर फक्स सेक. वी कैन साइन हिम even after the transfer window closes, for fuck's sake. बट क्या पता भाई, थियो वॉलकॉट को उठा के ले आओ. थियो वॉलकॉट, तुम गैरेथ बेल को ले आओ. लेफ्ट बैक स्टार्ट किया था ना उसने, उठा के ले आओ, उसे खिला लो. बट ना मैन, एज आई सेड, पता नहीं क्या, इट्स जस्ट wayward right now. एकदम मतलब खिचड़ी बनी हुई है हर चीज की, and we just can't catch a break. In terms of our own academy and stuff, we have sold Emirhan. I remember our first preseason game, and Emirhan scored, and he was one of the shining prospects. मुझे नहीं पता क्या धंधा चल रहा है. I remember काफी टाइम पहले, of course I know we have sold some of them. Tai Chong, ये मैं ज्यादा पहले जा रहा हूँ ऑब्वियसली, नहीं ज्यादा पहले भी नहीं. Tai Chong, Ethan Galbraith, Jimmy Garner, Charlie Savage, Zidane Iqbal, Ted and Mengi, Ethan Laird, Will Fish, Brandon Sahab Williams, अब ये Emirhan और 10,000 और जो हमने नाम उड़ते उड़ते सुने. I hope everyone heard of these names. एक आदमी दिखा दो मुझे, एक ये निकला उस पूरे पैकेट में से, एक ये निकला. Who is he? Rhythm is a dancer, Anthony Elanga. Who by the way, I will be there no matter what if he scores a brace. मैं नाचने लग जाऊंगा अगर उसने ब्रेस मारी तो. भाई मैं नाचने लग जाऊंगा अगर उसने ब्रेस मारी, because it'll be peak shithousery. If that happens, because fucking hell. भाई साहब अगर उसने गोल मार दिया, obviously I don't think he'll celebrate, but भाई मैं करूंगा उसकी जगह पे. भाई अगर एंथनी लांगा हमारे अगेंस्ट स्कोर करता है ओल्ड ट्रैफर्ड पे, Kamil भाई comes up and says why not Ramos, why Johnny. भैया का फूक के बैठे हैं हमें नहीं पता. We don't have a clue about the fact कि what's up with these guys. जॉनी एवंस को क्या मतलब, उन्हें क्या लगा कि अरे कहीं मगवायर चला ना जाए, हमें बीटेक मगवायर चाहिए, तो इसलिए एवंस को पक्का करके रख लो. आई डोंट नो व्हाट. एवंस के लिए तड़प रहे होंगे चैंपियनशिप क्लब, उनके लिए तो फ्रांसिस बेकनबॉर्ग का भी भगवान है जॉनी एवंस. दे डालो लूटन टाउन दे डालो. वो एशली विलियम्स करके था एक सेंटर बैक, एशली विलियम्स ही था वो, एशली विलियम्स, हाँ एशली विलियम्स, जो एवर्टन, स्वानजी इन सब में खेलता रहा. वो भी ऐसे ही टाइप करता था, उड़ के कहीं से भी आ जाता था. फिर एक और था अपना चेल्सी का इवानोविच, वेस्ट ब्रॉम में आ गया एकदम उड़ के. ऐसे टाइप को वापस निकालो रिटायरमेंट से, जॉनी एवंस को डालो और बैक फाइव करा दो लूटन टाउन की. उनकी जिंदगी शॉर्ट है, वो इस साल सरवाइव कर जाएंगे क्योंकि वो गोल ही नहीं खाएंगे. एक दो हेडर भी मार देते हैं 37-38 साल वाले. बट एनीवेज, So as I just mentioned these 5-10 names, मैं अब खुद भूल जाऊंगा, मैं रिपीट नहीं कर रहा, ये जो हमने एकेडमी के बोले, एक इंसान नहीं है इसमें। जिडान इकबाल, इथन गैलब्रेथ, चार्ली सैवेज, याद है तुम्हें पिछला प्री सीजन बॉल किया था, बॉलर्स इन द मेकिंग, फ्यूचर इज इन सेफ हैंड्स। जिडान इकबाल स्टैट्स फॉर द गेम, 96% पास एक्यूरेसी, 1300 पास, 20 लेफ्ट फुट से, 30 पेट से, 50 राइट फुट से, 20 ट्रिवेला, 30 रबोना, 48 ये, Neck Carrick in the making, young Carrick is cooking, Zidane Iqbal, Zidane of United, 1 मिलियन में बेचा हमने। कितने में? 1 मिलियन। Now Emeran की स्टोरी सुनो। Emeran, we bought him 3 or 2 years ago, I'm not sure, तो इसलिए मैं कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, एग्जैक्ट डेट चेक कर लेना। 3 or 2 years ago we bought Emeran for 3 million. For 3 million. Good move for him. Was considered a very good move for United, a very skillful / whatever player. Good preseason. One of our shiniest prospects in the preseason in terms of our under 21 Mali squad. We sell him to Groningen or whatever that club is called, Groningen or whatever. 1 million का. कितने का? 1 million का. 1 million. 15 से 20% sell on clause and people think it's a victory for us. Manchester City, that जिसका मैंने 10,000 बार बोला है, कई बार बोला है, and I'm saying it again. They sold a keeper. जिससे प्रीमियर लीग तो छोड़ो, प्रीमियर लीग तो तुम नाम ही मत लो, प्रीमियर लीग तो उसका मतलब अल्टीमेट ड्रीम हो जाएगा, जो वैसे बाय द वे अब खेल रहा है वो कीपर, प्रीमियर लीग उसके लिए उस वक्त अमेरिकन ड्रीम टाइप लगा लो, वो था। उसने चैंपियनशिप में भी एक भी अपीयरेंस नहीं की थी, चैंपियनशिप में भी एक भी अपीयरेंस नहीं की, एक भी नहीं। बर्नली को बेच दिया, बर्नली को बेच दिया। फॉर व्हाट? इट्स अ कीपर। वी बाय द वे एक्सेप्टेड अ 30 मिलियन का बिड फॉर हैरी मैग्वायर। उन्होंने अपना कीपर, एन अनकैप्ड कीपर, वो प्रीमियर लीग तो छोड़ो, didn't even have a single cap at the championship level. They sold a keeper of that profile for 18 fucking million. 18 मिलियन का बेच दिया उन्होंने जेम्स ट्रैफर्ड नाम का, with a 25, if I'm not wrong, or 20 to 25% sell on clause and a 2 to 3 year buyback clause. They sold Romeo Lavia, जो बिका पता नहीं कितना, 15-20 कुछ ऐसे मिलियन का, इनने मिला जुला के अपने 200 मिलियन, 150-200 मिलियन के करीब इनने अपने बच्चे बेच दिए, पता नहीं कहां से। Apparently our academy is supposed to be fire and theirs is just a bot club. Romeo Lavia, he straight went into the Southampton lineup. Obviously they relegated, but he was there, one of their best players. James Ward-Prowse or wo, they paused the midfield there. CDM bana. Next season he gets snapped up. He's a focal point of a bidding war between Liverpool and Chelsea. Can you fucking imagine that? And we are supposed to have a good academy. Doon se gada, I think you're saying Boond, if I'm not wrong. I think you're referring to the 1 million. अरे भाई इतनी बूंद फिर तो भैया बूंदी करते रह जाएंगे हम। बूंद का फिर बूंदी का रायता ही बनेगा, उससे गड़ा तो ना भरे। हमारे पापों का गड़ा जरूर भर गया है, which is being fucking exposed as every day comes back. So that is what I'm saying, you know, all of this combined, कोई एक चीज नहीं हो रही। कुछ ग्लेजर्स का ये है, यहाँ से इंजरी है, यहाँ से प्लानिंग, यहाँ से एमराबैट मतलब इन ट्रांसफर टर्म्स मतलब वो तुम्हारे घर आएगा माला डालने कि प्लीज मुझे खरीद लो, मतलब इट डजंट रियली लुक लाइकली, बट भाई साहब अगर ये पूरा विंडो, इफ वी गो ऑन एंड वी एक्चुअली डोंट एंड अप विद एमराबैट, it will be such a big disgrace. Matlab, in my short football watching career, I wouldn't have seen a player more willing to go to a club and then not being, and the club also wanting that particular player, but still not snapping up that player and still missing out on him. I wouldn't have ever seen it. But I am sure I will see it because it's Manchester United. It's United we are talking about, and ये तो आम बात है. ऐसे बड़े बड़े क्लब्स में ऐसी छोटी छोटी बात वाला सीन है इनके लिए. Because this is मतलब ही वो ड्रॉप हो गया अपने 2-3 मैचेस में, अपने प्री सीजन से लेकर अपनी मेन गेम्स में उसको खिला नहीं रही है फियोरेंटीना. वो यूरोपा कॉन्फ्रेंस या किसी कुछ शायद क्वालिफायर खेल रहे थे, उनके लिए काफी इंपॉर्टेंट गेम एंड प्रोबेबली देयर बेस्ट प्लेयर नहीं खिला रहे वो, because they are that confident कि he is in talks or he has his heart set on Manchester United. उनका उतना सीन है. बट हम लोग कह रहे हैं बाबू क्या करें, हमारा मकटोमिने नहीं बिक रहा. हम मकटोमिने जब बेच पाएंगे तभी हम तुमको क्लब में ला पाएंगे. That's the dasha of our club. What do you say about it? You can't say fucking anything. You just can't fucking utter a word about it, can you? It's just pure disgrace at this time. That's the thing. There are no incomings as such. Apologies. There are no incomings as such. There are no major outgoings जो हमें actually aid करेंगे हमारी transfer में. It's all bullshit. Whatever बच्चे we do end up selling are for pennies, and we are being sold a dream कि we have the best, probably ये वो हमारी वो सब है academy वगैरह. Then the sale is just a big smoke screen for whatever happens at the club. It comes up whenever there is some shit to cover. And then there is our form, which doesn't look the brightest. And then our playing style and stuff, which obviously the season has just begun and we need to be patient and all of that jazz. But it doesn't look promising as of now. So I think that is just the whole summary of like what is going on at Manchester United in a nutshell. So that is why we here at NCR say that United do indeed feel like are in a mess. And we're sad that we have to say and use that word so often just at the start of the season, but what the fuck can we do? What the hell are we supposed to do as fans? Because it's season by season, हमारी same चक्की चलती रहती है, and we can't really help it. So it's just what it is right now. But yeah, I think with all of that and all of the news being covered the way it was, I think we do we have come to the closure of this live. And again, a big thank you to everyone, our constants with Manish Bhai and Prakash Bhai always being there, Mojo sir stepping in, Kushar Bhai being there, and Kaml Bhai obviously. So thank you so much for interacting. It means a lot that you guys were here and you interacted the way you did. It'll be a small request to any new watchers and stuff. Subscribe to our goddamn channel. We'll keep bringing these lives and we'll keep updating you whatever is going on in United. And trust me, भाई बहुत कुछ चल रहा होता है इस क्लब में. मतलब अगर हम हर न्यूज पे लाइव करना चाहें और हर न्यूज पे वीडियो करना चाहें तो दिन की हमारी 10-15 वीडियोस बन जाएंगी. So don't worry about you being informed or you being up to date with Man United, because we've got you covered. And as I said, don't forget to also check the descriptions. It has the link for our socials, and because there's not just one, there is our Twitter, there is our Instagram, where again we post on a very regular basis. Aapko din bhar ki sari khabre, you'll be covered there as well. Then more than that, and the most exciting part, it's our WhatsApp groups where we are perpetually active. Every day is match day there. आप जाओ, आप कुछ भी चीज डिस्कस करो, 4-5 लौंडे तैयार मिलेंगे आपको to give their expert tippani on whatever you want to talk. It's all about United there. You're gonna love it, trust me. So do check that out as well. But with that, we come to the conclusion. And again, a big thank you to everyone who watched. Till the time, no matter how hard it is, keep supporting Manchester United, because I know you guys will. And GGMU. So yeah, I'll speak to you guys in a bit.